What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another highly combustible reaction. We're jumping into something. Denis DeBlasio, Storytime. I know that says Sesame Street, and I feel like it was intentionally misspelled for some reason. And the big yellow thing. Get over it, show Denis DeBlasio all the love of the world. It's story time. Let's jump into it. Let's check it out together. Tomorrow we will see the Maynard Ferguson Sesame Street performance. I have a feeling they go back to back. It's coming at us from Stacy. Much love. I definitely appreciate something a little different. Let's see what we got.
Oh, this is a good one. I think this is probably one of the two or three stories I've told the most. I thought I posted it, but I didn't. All right. Maynard comes to the back of the bus. I need an arrangement of a song that everybody knows. I don't know what that, this is the Christmas Carol, Star Spangled Banner, what tune does everybody know? And the problem with Christmas carols is you can't play them before Thanksgiving and you can't play them after Christmas. So you really only get like a month.
A very short
use
amount
out
of time.
The chart.
I agree.
Basically, you can't use it anymore. So, toying it around and trying to think of something. He put it out there for the whole band, I think. Anyway, I had a recording of Singers Unlimited with Oscar Peterson where they do Sesame Street. They do it like a shuffle. And I thought that could be fun. Shuffle it up, and something about a shuffle makes everybody, everybody loves a good shuffle, especially if you put it to blues.
Something about a shuffle makes everybody shuffle.
So I write it up, and the chart's okay, but it's more fun because of the tune, and, that's the kind of the novelty of it, I guess. So we do it, and when we rehearse it, Maynard's like, and it reads down, it's not hard, it reads right down. And if you hand out, I put a blues insert for solos, so if you hand that out to like Tim Reese or Nelson Hill or Danny Jordan, some of those sax players, you give them a B-flat blues shuffle, they're going to take off like a rocket. So you can pass it around and, you can really get something fun going. Okay, so we play the tune and Maynard's like, yeah, well, okay, yeah, okay. And I was thinking, well, what? It seemed like it didn't, it wasn't a big deal. And then I find out later that when his kids were growing up in England, the age they would be when they would watch Sesame Street, Maynard was pretty much touring around Europe. So he never saw the show. So I wrote an arrangement of Sesame Street for the one person in the world that never ever knew it. So if you were a kid or you had kids, which is everybody, then you've heard this tune.
Yeah,
unless you're Maynard, you never heard it. So that's one aspect. Okay, so now here's the other part of the story. There's three parts to this. Whenever we would play a place that had a big marching component, like Texas A&M, or a place that would have a big drum and bugle corps, a lot of Midwest schools have big programs. Maynard, one of those people, in the first couple rows, he insisted upon it because they go nuts for him. You would get a standing ovation from a crowd like that just for walking out on the stage. It used to happen. We walk out, kids are screaming. And he wanted them down front because he said, standing ovations go from the front to the back of the auditorium. They don't go from the back to the front.
Good
no
point.
one looks behind you to see if you don't look behind yourself to see if anyone's standing. You see it, you get up. And she was right. We would walk out, the whole place would be up. And we're not even at our places yet. So they'd stand and we start to play. They'd be on their feet. They'd sit. Maynard would come out. They'd be on their feet. They'd sit. Maynard hit a high note. They'd be on their feet. Like the first 5 minutes, it looks like the place is doing calisthenics. So we play one of these places, right? Now, we're not playing Sesame Street yet because Maynard is not quite sure about, what's the tune. It's a weird title. And if you've never heard it, I guess it could be a weird title. So Maynard, we're playing, and Boss walks over to me, and I said, Boss, look, let's do that Sesame Street thing. It'll work here. Believe me, trust me. And Maynard's like, yeah, And I'm thinking, what? Yeah, this is before I realized why he didn't know the tune. So I said, look, and I said this, I said, do me a favor. And I made it like a little joke, but I said, look, do me a favor, boss, let's do it. And if it doesn't work, dock me a week's pay. And he was like, oh, stop it, really? Really? No. And so let's do it, boss. He goes, oh, okay. So what he did is he goes up to the mic, he turns to everyone. He just couldn't say Sesame Street. There was something about the title that made him, I guess, feel funny. So he turns to the band, he goes, let's pull up that chart that DeBlasio brought out. So we get it up, and Maynard turns around, he says, this is by DeBlasio, and we count it off. And as soon as we get into the ba-da-da-da-da-da, the place is on their feet because they're that kind of crowd. They're off their rocker, you know. And it goes down great.
Everybody loves the off the rocker crowd.
Just tears it up. So it's good. It's good. Anyway, we end it. Maynard hits his note. Gets off his note. They're going insane. So Maynard turns to me and he says, what's the name of this again? And the crowd screaming. And I said, Sesame Street. But he didn't hear me right. And he got up the microphone and he says, Sesame Street by DeBlasio. Sesame Street.
Sesame Street. That's why it spelled wrong.
Sesame Street. So now we're playing it all the time, okay? And maybe, I don't know how many weeks, maybe it's a few months, I don't know. But I do remember it was cold, so I'm thinking maybe we're up in North Dakota, Montana, someplace. Phone rings at like 6 or 7 in the morning, and you pick it up, and you know, Steve Weiss, we were roommates. Steve's in one bed, I'm in maybe the bed closest to the door, and I pick it up, and hello, thinking maybe it's someone from home, something happened. Hey, hello! And when Maynard would talk on the phone and you were on the other side, it was so loud that you would actually put the phone like down, you push it away like this and talk to it. So I actually put the phone on the bed. I was standing up now. Steve was like waking. He goes, what's going on? So what's up, boss? He goes, turn on channel 4. You're looking at the phone like 4 feet away and you hear, turn on channel 4. You hear his voice coming through those little holes, right? So we turn on the television on channel 4 and it's Sesame Street, okay? So he goes, look, it's on. Like Maynard finally found Sesame Street. And if you remember the end of the show, there was always a number at the bottom. I guess that was the number of the show. So this was like 2,768, something like that. And boss was like, hey, look, it's on. I found it. And I was like, boss, it's yelling at the phone. Boss, it's been on for 30 years. This is what we're talking about. This is the show. I found it. He's all excited. So, you know, so there's Maynard screaming out of the phone on the bed. I'm standing by the bed. The TV's on. You're watching the end of Sesame Street. Steve Weiss is in bed, like up on one elbow, going like, what the hell's going on? And Maynard's all excited. You hear him coming through the phone. And if you looked at the screen, you would see it's the very end of the show, and Big Bird... Big Bird is walking down a path with some kids, like holding their hands or, you know, whatever. And I'm hearing Maynard talk through the phone while I'm watching Big Bird walk with the kids, and it's really cold, but I didn't want to get into bed because I needed to be far enough away from the phone because it's too loud if you put it up next to your ear. So I'm there, well, that's it, boss. You see that number? That's the show. And there you are. And Maynard's like, well, hey. I'm like, what? He goes, what the hell's that big yellow thing? I'm looking at the TV and there's Big Bird. So I say, it's Big Bird, boss. That's Big Bird. He goes, big what? Big Bird. Bird? It's Big Bird? Yeah, that yellow thing is Big Bird. He's one of the characters in the show. That's big. What the hell's big? What is that? And he's like, well, it's like a big bird. He goes, well, whatever. But look, it's on. The show's on. I found it. Oh, man. That was cute. He discovered it.
He discovered
After 30 years,
it.
He discovered Sesame Street was on TV. Sesame Street was on TV.
Sesame Street.
Oh, man, that was some funny stuff. He thought he discovered it, and everybody in the world knew that tune but him. Sesame Street. What the hell's that big yellow thing? Oh, man, we milked that one.
Oh, we are definitely not waiting till tomorrow to see the Maynard performance. Give me 2 seconds. We're jumping into the man who didn't know what Sesame Street was. Damn, Sesame Street. 2 seconds. And we're back. Sorry about the wait. Maynard Ferguson Sesame Street, as we've just learned. Let's jump into it. Let's check it out together. Get over show David Palumbo, all the love of the world. We're subbing up. We're smashing the like button. Listen, it was great to hear the story behind it before we actually get to see the little shuffled up version of it. Let's jump in. Let's go for a journey. Everybody knows the song. Feel free to hum along. Oh, it's like a swing dance version. Let's go. I feel like a kid again. This is the swankiest version. Man could blow a horn, huh? Oh. That is a monster of an instrument. You gotta have a lot of air. Ooh.
Denis, DeBlasio.
Hey, normally I don't see nobody that's playing the trumpet take their hand off of it. He takes little breaths and breathes, and I don't know. This is like watching a master at work right here. Everybody in this is killing. I've never heard Sesame Street before like this before. Let's go. Playing that thing with a vengeance. I would have been passed out. Oh, it really added on to the story to actually see them performing it on a stage. Get over, show David Palumbo all the love in the world. Definitely go show Denis DeBlasio the love. Smash the like button if you liked it, the dislike button, but I won't believe you. Shout out to Stacy for taking us on the journey. I definitely appreciate it. Till the next one, I'm Combustible. You guys be happy, healthy, safe. I love you to the moon and back. Peace.